Hi, Chad Lang here. In this video, I want to tell 3 stories from my past because basically it seems to me the expectation is that if I acquiesce and I agree to people's appeals to go back to church, that the expectation is to eventually that the gospel is going to change me and I'm going to become a new creature. And it seems to me that that new creature is a Leave It to Beaver, Ned Flanders religious dingbat. And I am not interested in becoming that new creature. Okay, and there's actually no way in hell that that's ever going to happen. And a lot of culturally entrenched Leave It to Beaver, Ned Flanders religious dingbats don't seem to understand that. And they have high hopes that the gospel is going to change me in that respect, usually within a short period of time, which I think is also ridiculous. So I'm going to tell these 3 stories from my past, which I have never told before in a YSA congregation, a young single adult congregation, because they would be absolutely morally horrified. And I already started with the story where I was bending the spine in my seminary scriptures and crinkling the pages in Lethbridge, because that's what I was taught to do in Prince Rupert in order to gain an edge for scripture mastery, and I'm doing it at Lethbridge, and these people are absolutely morally horrified. So I'm going to jump right in here and tell my stories. So let's go back to Prince Rupert. I'm in about grade 10, and there's some guy who came to live with I'm not sure who, but he was either stealing cars or stealing from cars in Alaska, and he came to live in Prince Rupert and went to seminary with us for a few months. And I can't remember what his name is, but where I grew up, everybody and their dog in that town was a juvenile delinquent, except me, pretty much. And people used to fire Roman candles at each other for Halloween, you know, and commit all kinds of vandalism. One kid named Joey Dunlop put a pipe bomb in the vice principal's house. He didn't even go to that school. He went to the other high school. So I don't know what he was doing trying to bomb the vice principal. But yeah, if anyone had been home when that pipe bomb went off, they would have been dead. Okay, and there's this other kid, Ryan Lovesauer. He was a bully. Well, in grade 8 at 13 years old, he and 6 other kids, he was the youngest, mugged a bum for a trivially small amount of money, like less than $20, and they beat him to death. They kicked the crap out of him until he died. Okay, and he went to jail for that, and I have no idea what happened to him. So, yeah, this is where I grew up. This is the town that I grew up in. And I had no friends because I was, you know, dodging bullies and trying to stay out of trouble as a good little Mormon boy. So anyways, Halloween happens, and we show up to the church the day after. It must have been on a Sunday night, the day after, to go to seminary. And we get there, and someone had painted in white spray paint on the church this little chalk outline of Friday the 13th chalk outline where he's holding the knife, and wrote, "The devil is coming for you, 666. And yeah, the adults did not like that very much, but we thought it was freaking hilarious. Okay, and you know what? I'm 42 years old now, and I still think it's freaking hilarious. Yeah, it's disrespectful. Yeah, it's vandalism. Yeah, you shouldn't spray paint on the front of a church, but that was pretty funny. And it's not like they just specifically targeted us because we were Mormon. They tagged the high school and a couple other places too. So, yeah, that's going to morally horrify people in the YSA if I were to go back between 2003 and 2012 and tell that story on the pulpit. So, anyways, where I grew up in Prince Rupert, British Columbia, it is super liberal there. Okay, a lot of Ned Flanders, Leave It to Beaver religious dingbats here in ultra-conservative Alberta do not understand this concept. Okay, super liberal, super it's okay to be gay in the high schools. Okay, and the teacher, this wasn't even a sex education class, the French teacher, she had no problem, no shyness within her about drawing a penis on the overhead projector and explaining to us how wet dreams worked and using words like ejaculation. But when you go to church here in Alberta, we're adults. And when it comes to the subject of sex, we're talking in hushed tones, walking on eggshells. It's just like we have to say as little as possible for anyone to even know what we're talking about. And it's got to be very quiet. Maybe they think they're being reverent, but we don't talk about sex in church. Okay, and all I got to say to that is sex, 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 sex. Okay, this is the culture that I grew up in where we're not shy about it. They're very shy about it over here in Alberta. So then there's that story. And the last story I'm going to tell is, okay, so I moved from Prince Rupert to Sparwood in 1996. So I grew up not in a part member family, but my mother's a convert. Her family are not members. My dad's family, on the other hand, are super, ultra, mega religious. Super, ultra entrenched in this culture that I'm talking about here. Okay? So, my mother's sister's husband, back in Prince Rupert, he is getting too big for some of his former clothes. He rides a motorcycle, and so he gives me a bunch of Harley Davidson shirts. So I start wearing Harley Davidson shirts. Well, I don't think anything about it. No one says nothing about it. Doesn't seem to be a big deal. I get to Sparwood, and my parents aren't even home at this time. And my uncle comes to visit or check up on us or whatever he's doing. This is my dad's twin brother. And yeah, he's super, ultra, mega religious. And he takes one good look at this Harley Davidson shirt that I'm wearing. He has this look of absolute moral horrification on his face. It is just like, I'm naked in front of him and I just finished bathing in the blood of 10,000 virgins. That's the look he's giving me. Well, I had to use babies just to be sure. So, yeah, he is absolutely mortified that I'm wearing this Harley Davidson shirt. And he says, please, Chad, please, for whatever you do in life, for the love of all that's holy, please, don't join a biker gang. They won't love you. They won't love you. Oh! Okay, he wasn't that over-dramatic about it, but he was pretty over-dramatic about it. And I still don't own a motorcycle. I've thought about it. I know where to get lessons here in Calgary, but once I hit 40, it's like, you know what? I think I really want a frame of steel between me and the road. I am in my heat bag red 2005 Mustang recording this right now with tinted windows, so I think that's pretty badass. But no, I have no interest in joining a biker gang. And it's not like anyone ever asked for my thoughts on it. They just make assumptions instead of talking to me, because this is what super ultra mega religious dingbats do. Is they don't actually talk to people. They just make assumptions based on their filters of life in the world. So those are the three stories that I have to tell. And basically, yeah, if the expectation is that I'm to become this poster child for Mr. Rogers' wholesomeness, it's just never going to happen. Now, I don't have to swear. I can stay out of trouble. I can obey the law. I'm 42 years old. I've had a passport for most of my adult life, which means I am obeying laws in multiple countries, and yeah, I can be on good behavior But it seems to me that there's this expectation that you embrace the culture of the church. And if you're being a different person, people don't understand that. And they don't think you're converted because you're not saying converted member things. You're saying worldly things. You're not indicating to them in their minds that you're sufficiently converted in your heart to be saved in the kingdom of heaven, because they're dingbats and they don't understand any other perspective about life in the world. Clearly, they don't know that. It's like I see religious nuts. They're walking around like they're regular people. They don't know that they're nuts. So, yeah, I'm going to stop right there, I think. That's pretty much all I wanted to say about it. And have a nice life.